My boyfriend made me sit alone for 2 full hours at a fancy restaurant on our anniversary. When he finally showed up, with his buddies in tow, he laughed and said loud enough for half the room to hear. "See, told you she'd still be here like a sad little puppy." His friends cracked up. We'd been together 3 years, and not long ago, I finished paying off the loan on his car. I just smiled, ordered another drink, and kept my cool. Fast forward to this morning, my phone's blowing up with 85 missed calls and all his stuff sitting in garbage bags at the town dump. Logan and I first crossed paths 3 years back, right after my upstairs neighbor forgot they were running a full tub for the entire weekend, flooded my whole apartment. Seriously, who even does that? While repairs were underway, I had to crash at my brother's place. Logan was the plumber they sent to fix the mess. Funny thing, every time he came by, he somehow found another issue. At the time, I thought it was endearing, like he was just trying to spend more time around me. Now, I can't help but wonder if he was deliberately breaking stuff to stretch out the job. Either way, I remember thinking how easy it was to talk to him, which was rare for me. Usually, I'm super awkward when meeting new people. Fast forward to the end of year 1. Things were looking good, or so I thought. After about 9 months, we moved in together. Way too soon, I know. But with his lease ending and the rent situation being what it was, it just seemed practical. Logan worked as a plumber, but keeping a steady paycheck was always a struggle. He bounced from company to company, either getting fired for showing up late or quitting because, according to him, his bosses were all idiots who didn't appreciate real talent. That should have been my first red flag, but I brushed it off. Over time, Logan developed this habit of sending me long, raging Telegram voice messages about whatever boss he had at the moment, calling them names, mocking their accents, making fun of how they dressed. He'd go on these wild rants, saying stuff like his boss was too dumb to even work a doorknob and that he was carrying the whole company on his back without getting any credit. For some reason, I started saving those recordings, even downloading the worst ones into a favorites folder. I'm still not sure why I did that. Maybe deep down I knew they'd matter one day. He didn't just save his nastiness for his bosses either. He'd unload on his parents too, especially whenever they refused to lend him money. I still remember the venom in his voice, calling his dad a worthless excuse for a man and saying his mom couldn't think for herself if her life depended on it. One time, after his folks said no to helping with a car payment, Logan recorded this 5-minute tirade about how they were complete failures, total embarrassments who never accomplished anything. Listening to it made my skin crawl, but I still saved it in that same folder like I was on autopilot. By the time we hit year 2, I was basically the one keeping our household afloat. My job's nothing glamorous, but it's steady. And I kept telling myself, relationships are about give and take. Sometimes one person carries the load while the other gets their footing. Logan kept promising things would turn around. He just needed one good break, and everything would get better. Then, 6 months ago, disaster struck. Logan's car broke down. It was a 2017 Mustang, way fancier and way more expensive than he could ever afford. He was heartbroken, acting like he'd lost a family member. He said he needed a reliable car for work, and being the fool I was, I offered to help cover the loan. Somehow, that turned into me taking on the full loan myself, $412 a month, which was a huge strain on my budget. But I convinced myself it was the right thing to do, that it would stabilize everything. Side note, a bunch of people have asked why I would even agree to that. And looking back, it's painfully obvious. But at the time, it felt like I was helping both of us. We lived together. We shared bills. If he couldn't drive, he couldn't keep a job. Plus, he made such a big emotional deal about losing his baby. Ugh. So last night rolls around, our 3-year anniversary. And I just finished paying off the last dime on his car loan, something that nearly broke me financially. I booked a reservation at this fancy downtown restaurant we'd always talked about but never dared splurge on before. Translation: I was splurging. Logan never would have paid for it. I spent forever getting ready. Bought a new dress, got my hair done, the whole 10 yards. I showed up at 7 p.m. sharp. Logan texted saying he was running behind, but told me to go ahead and get seated. By 8:30, I texted him 3 times. No reply. By 8, I tried calling twice, straight to voicemail. Meanwhile, the waitress kept checking in, giving me these pitying glances and gently asking if I wanted to reschedule. I kept brushing it off with, "He's just stuck in traffic," while nervously checking my phone every 2 minutes. By 9:50, I'd been sitting there alone for almost 2 hours, feeling like a complete idiot. Just as I was getting ready to leave, Logan strolls in, dragging 4 of his friends behind him. Not one word beforehand about bringing anybody else. They all pile around my table, loud, laughing, already half drunk. And then, I still can't believe this actually happened. Logan turns to his buddies and says, loud and clear for everyone nearby to hear, see? Told you she'd still be here like a pathetic little puppy. 2 hours and she didn't even leave. The guys roared with laughter. One of them, Tyler, a guy I've always thought was a complete jerk, chimed in with, damn, you weren't kidding. She's trained real good. More laughter. Logan plopped down next to me, grabbed my cheeks between his fingers like I was a toddler, and said, this is why she's the best, man. Most chicks would have stormed out. But my Brianna? She pays my bills and waits around like a good little girl. Then, giving me this nasty smirk, he said, did you think this was gonna be some big romantic dinner? That's adorable. We got a poker game after this. I just had to make sure you were good for the next payment first. When I didn't say anything, he grabbed my chin harder and yanked my face toward him, snapping, hello. Earth to Brianna? God, you're so pathetic sometimes. Say something already? Or are you just gonna sit there looking like a sad little puppy? They all thought it was hysterical. I, meanwhile, was struggling just to breathe. 3 years together. Almost 13 grand out of my pocket to pay off his car. And this was how he really saw me? Just some doormat he could humiliate for a laugh? The server came over, looking mortified, and asked if we were ready to order. Somehow, I managed to smile and said, actually, I'll just have another glass of wine, thanks. Logan and his friends ordered a whole spread of overpriced appetizers and drinks, still tossing around jokes about my loyalty and how Logan had hit the jackpot finding someone so understanding. At one point, Logan pointed right at me and said to the server, don't worry about bringing her food. She's trying to watch her figure. Another few pounds and we'll need a bigger table for her. And just like that, the whole table erupted in laughter while I sat there, burning with humiliation. After my second glass of wine showed up, I took a slow, deliberate sip, set it down gently, and told the table I needed to hit the restroom. Logan barely even noticed. He was too busy cracking jokes about how stupid his boss was, entertaining his buddies. In the bathroom, I just stood there, staring at my own reflection for what had to be 5 straight minutes. I didn't cry. I wasn't even angry yet. I just felt done. Completely done. 3 years of making excuses for him. 3 years of carrying the weight of our bills. 3 years of brushing off every glaring red flag. And this was what he really thought of me? Right then and there, a switch flipped inside me. I wasn't gonna blow up. I wasn't gonna cause a scene or toss a drink in his face. Nope. Logan didn't deserve that kind of energy. He deserved something better. Something colder. Something calculated. I pulled out my phone, opened up Telegram, and scrolled through the mountain of voice recordings I'd saved, messages where Logan trashed every boss he ever had, ranted about how pathetic his parents were, and basically torched every bridge around him. I had dozens of them tucked neatly away, some even downloaded right to my phone. I shot a quick text to my friend Sophie, who lived just a few minutes away, and asked if she could swing by and pick me up in 10. After that, I headed back to the table, put on the best fake smile you've ever seen, and told everyone I needed to step outside to make a quick call about a work emergency. Before slipping out, I flagged down the server, paid for just my 2 glasses of wine with my card, and made it crystal clear that the gentleman at the table would be covering everything else. Then I walked out the door, slid into Sophie's car, and without a second thought, blocked Logan's number before he even noticed I was missing. But blocking his number? That was just step 1. See, over the years, I'd ended up helping Logan with every tech-related thing you can imagine. His email, his cloud storage, his banking app because I had to make those car payments, his social media accounts. Basically, the guy had handed me the keys to his entire digital life. And trust me, I knew exactly how to use that information in the most efficient way possible. That was just last night. This morning, when I woke up, my phone was lit up with 85 missed calls, mostly from random numbers. I figured it was Logan's friends. And the cherry on top? Logan had sent me a long, panicked string of texts from his work phone, begging me to please talk to him. He kept insisting it was just a joke, and then, my favorite part, asking, what did you do? What did I do? Oh, buddy, that's a story for another time. Let's just say by the time the sun came up, Logan's boss and his dear parents had received some very interesting Telegram voice messages. Oh, and that Mustang he loved so much? When you cancel the last payment and send the lender proof of fraud, they get real serious about repossession. More updates coming soon. For now, I need to finish packing up Logan's junk. It's got a lovely new home waiting for it at the local dump. Edit. Thank you so much for all the love and support in the comments. And yes, for those asking if this really happened, sadly, it did. Also, for the folks worried about legal stuff, don't stress. Everything I did was completely within my rights. I'll break it all down more in the next update. First update. So many people asked for more details after I left the restaurant. So here's what happened. After Sophie picked me up, I wasn't even crying. And trust me, that's not normal for me. I'm the kind of person who gets teary-eyed over sad dog food commercials. I think I was just in pure shock. Sophie kept glancing at me, asking if I was okay, and I just sat there staring out the window, replaying all those saved voice messages from Logan in my head. When we finally got to Sophie's apartment, I broke down. Like ugly crying, mascara running, gasping for air, the whole emotional meltdown. Sophie was incredible. She didn't check her phone once. She just sat with me, handed me a tub of ice cream and some cookie dough, my ultimate comfort foods, and let me vent my guts out for 2 solid hours. Real friendship right there. Around midnight, the floodgates opened again, this time on my phone. Logan started blowing it up with texts. At first, he was furious. Messages like, "Where TF did you go? You seriously ditched me with the bill?" Then he shifted gears into fake concern. "Are you okay? Please just let me know you're safe." By 1 a.m., he was full-on trying to gaslight me with long paragraphs about how it was just a joke and how I was overreacting. I didn't reply to a single one. Instead, I did what I do best, made a list. Big list maker over here, lol. Things I still had access to. His email, from back when I helped him apply for jobs. His Instagram, because he always forgot his login. His iCloud, still logged in on my laptop after his broke. His Spotify, we shared a family plan that I paid for. His banking app, because of the car payments. Our Netflix account, again, paid by yours truly. And as I sat there, it really hit me how crazy it was. The guy had practically handed me the master key to his whole digital world. But instead of feeling overwhelmed, I felt powerful. For the first time in years, I was the one holding the cards. Edit. A few folks asked if this was illegal. Don't worry, Logan personally gave me access to all these accounts and passwords. No hacking here. Nothing shady. The next morning, after maybe 3 hours of restless sleep, I got to work. First priority, the car. I logged into his banking app and saw that the final payment I'd made on the Mustang hadn't cleared yet. Perfect. I called the bank, explained the situation, and told them I needed to cancel a payment made under fraudulent circumstances. The rep I spoke to was incredibly understanding once I laid out the story. They asked for proof, so I sent screenshots of our text conversations where Logan openly admitted the car was his and shared a voice message where he bragged to his buddy about how he was making me pay for it all. The rep put me on hold forever, then came back and said they'd freeze the payment and launch an investigation. Huge weight off my chest. Meanwhile, Logan must have called me 18 more times. I let every call roll straight to voicemail. The messages he left were pure desperation, swinging wildly between rage and begging. At one point, he even whined, "You're ruining our anniversary over a stupid joke." Our anniversary. The one where he stood me up for 2 hours and humiliated me in front of half the restaurant. Sure, Logan. Tell yourself whatever you need to. Around noon, I got curious and decided to poke around a few more of his accounts. I wasn't planning anything shady. I just wanted to see if there was anything else lurking. And holy hell, you guys. I found everything. There were dozens of text threads between Logan and his friends, planning the whole anniversary dinner setup days in advance. One text from Tyler, the same Tyler I always hated, read. "Can't wait to see her face when you tell her it's not actually an anniversary dinner, lol." And Logan's reply? "She'll probably just sit there and take it like always." But just when I thought I'd seen the worst of it, it somehow got even uglier. As I kept scrolling through Logan's stuff, I stumbled onto emails between him and some girl named Kayla, a coworker. Flirty emails. With pictures attached. Nothing explicitly saying they were hooking up, but the vibe? Totally inappropriate. Definitely crossing every line. One email from just last week had the subject line, "After work." And the entire body of the email was just a damn winky face emoji. At that point, my whole body was trembling. 3 years of my life. Thousands of my dollars. All the patience, all the support I had poured into this man. And this? This was the thanks I got. I had to step away. I made myself some coffee, but my hands were shaking so badly I ended up spilling it everywhere. Sophie had already left for work by then, but she kept checking in by text every hour or so. I shot her a quick, "I'm fine" message, cleaned up the coffee mess, and went back to digging through Logan's digital garbage heap. Next, I opened his Google Drive, logged in through his email, of course. And there it was, a folder titled Voice Notes. It was mostly boring work calls, but then I found it, a recording from 3 months ago. It was Logan and Tyler, laughing their heads off, talking about how I was basically Logan's sugar mama. How he was just stringing me along until someone better came along. Hearing them talk about me like that, like I was just some wallet with legs, it nearly knocked the air out of my lungs. After everything I had given him. After everything I had sacrificed. He had been mocking me the whole time. So I did what I do best. Made a list. Operation Logan Wreckage. Send the voice clips trashing his boss straight to his boss. Send the voice clips trashing his parents straight to his parents. Cancel all shared subscriptions, Spotify, Netflix, the whole lot. Pack up every last one of his belongings. Change all my passwords and lock him out of my accounts. The voice messages were easy. I had them all saved in my Telegram favorites, and some of the worst ones were downloaded right to my phone. I created a fresh Telegram account using a temporary burner number and started sending. First, I sent the clips of Logan calling his boss an incompetent idiot directly to his boss. I had the guy's contact info from Logan's recent job applications in his email. Next, I sent the voice recordings where Logan called his parents pathetic failures, straight to his parents. No commentary. No explanations. Just a simple message. Thought you should hear how Logan talks about you when you're not around. After that, I logged into all our shared accounts, Netflix, Spotify, everything, and either changed the passwords or canceled them outright. It felt amazing. Like I was clearing out all the digital junk he had left behind in my life. Then came the hard part, dealing with all his physical crap. Logan had been living with me for more than 2 years. His stuff was everywhere. I started with his clothes, grabbing armfuls of them and stuffing them into garbage bags. No folding, no neatness, just raw, rebellious stuffing. And honestly, it felt good. Real good. I filled 8 big trash bags just with his clothes and shoes. I was halfway through clearing out the bathroom when the doorbell rang, and my heart about jumped out of my chest. I tiptoed over and peeked through the peephole. It was Logan. He was standing there looking all pitiful, holding a sad little bouquet of grocery store flowers like that would magically erase everything. I didn't open the door. I didn't even breathe. I just backed away and sat silently on the floor, hoping he'd give up. He didn't. He rang again. And again. He started pounding on the door, calling my phone, which I had muted, and eventually yelling through the hallway about how I was being childish, and that we needed to talk like adults. After about 30 minutes, someone from the building must have threatened him with security, because he finally gave up. Before leaving, though, he slid a pathetic note under the door. It read, "We need to talk. I'm sorry about last night. It was supposed to be a joke. Please call me." A joke. Publicly humiliating the person who's supposed to be your partner. That was a joke to him. I balled up the note and tossed it straight into the trash. Then I went right back to packing his stuff, faster, more determined than ever. By 7 p.m., I had everything, every last piece of him, bagged and sitting by the door. 18 garbage bags. 3 years of my life reduced to 21 trash bags. Right then, my phone pinged an email notification. It was from the bank. They had approved the payment reversal. The money was going to hit my account in 5 to 7 business days. I literally did a full-on happy dance in my living room. Not 2 minutes later, Logan texted me, frantic. "Why is there a tow truck at my apartment? What did you do to my car?" I didn't answer. I just smiled. A lot. Around 8 p.m., my phone lit up again, a non-stop barrage of texts. Apparently, Logan's boss had gotten those voice clips loud and clear, and immediately called him in for a meeting. Judging by the desperate texts Logan was sending, it didn't go well. Turns out, Logan's boss had already been suspicious of him for a while, and hearing Logan call him a brainless idiot who couldn't find his own ass with both hands was the final straw. Logan got put on probation with the very real possibility of losing his job altogether. As if that wasn't enough, his parents also received their voice clips. From what I gathered through Logan's panic texts, his mom was sobbing hysterically, and his dad refused to even speak to him. By 11 p.m., Logan had sent me a series of long, rambling texts. In one breath, he was begging for forgiveness. In the next, he was threatening me with legal action. I saved every message, but didn't answer a single one. I ended up crashing at Sophie's place again that night, just to be safe. I honestly wasn't sure if Logan might show up drunk and cause a scene, but the next morning, I felt lighter, freer, stronger. For the first time in 3 years, I actually stood up for myself. Now, the only problem left was what to do with 18 giant garbage bags full of Logan's junk. I couldn't keep them in my apartment, and I definitely wasn't about to meet him somewhere to hand them over. That's when Sophie, God bless her, came up with an idea that made me gasp. "What if we just took it all to the dump?" she said. At first, it sounded extreme. Even after everything, a part of me hesitated. Could I really just throw away 3 years of memories like they were nothing? But then I remembered the emails, the planned humiliation, the flirting, the betrayal. And I realized, yeah, I could. So this morning, Sophie borrowed her brother's truck and we loaded up all 18 bags. I double-checked every bag, made sure there was nothing truly irreplaceable, like birth certificates or family heirlooms. I'm not heartless. And then, we drove to the local dump. And we dumped it. Watching that garbage truck crush his designer clothes and those ridiculous video game collectibles, honestly, it was healing. On the way home, Logan called again, from some random number. Guess he figured out I'd blocked him everywhere. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail, practically begging, saying that his car had been repossessed and he needed to get his stuff so he'd have something to wear to work the next day. Too late, Logan. Way too late. I'm back at my apartment now. It feels emptier without all his stuff, sure. But it also feels peaceful. For the first time in a long time, my home finally feels like mine again. Oh, and I changed all the locks today, just in case. My landlord was actually super understanding when I explained everything that had gone down. I know there are probably people out there who would say I overreacted, that tossing a guy's life into the dumpster was too extreme. But after 3 long years of putting Logan first, after being treated like a second-class citizen in my own relationship, it honestly felt like exactly what he deserved. And believe me, the fallout isn't even close to over yet. Tyler, Logan's charming little sidekick, has been blowing up my phone with angry texts. And apparently Kayla, the girl from work he'd been flirting with, is now totally confused about why Logan's suddenly ghosting her. The dominoes are still falling, and I'm just sitting back with my popcorn, watching it happen. Edit. For those of you asking about legal issues, don't worry. I double-checked with a friend who knows a thing or two about this kind of stuff. Yes, the car was legally in Logan's name, but I was making the payments as gifts. I was never on the loan. Never legally responsible. Plus, I made sure to keep all the important documents I found, not because I'm petty, well, maybe a little, but because I'm not stupid, lol. Second update. You guys are seriously the best. The support on my last post was insane. So many of you asked for another update, and trust me, I've got some fresh tea for you. Here's everything that's happened in the week since Logan's belongings got their one-way trip to the local dump. The morning after we ditched his stuff, I woke up to this weird scratching sound at my front door. Not knocking, scratching. Like someone was there but didn't want to make enough noise to draw attention. Thank God I had installed a doorbell cam last year after some package thief drama in my building. I pulled up the feed, and there he was. Logan. Sitting right there on the floor outside my door, looking completely wrecked. His hair was sticking up every which way, he was still wearing the same clothes from 2 days ago, and he was writing something? I turned up the volume on the cam and realized he was sliding little notes under my door. One after another. Still in my pajamas, I tiptoed up to the door and peeked. There were 9 notes already pushed through. Each one had some sad little plea written on it. Please talk to me. I need my stuff for work. My boss is going to fire me. My parents won't answer my calls. My car is gone. What did you tell everyone? I'm sleeping in Tyler's car. Please answer. For about 3 seconds, I actually felt a tiny twinge of sympathy. But then I remembered sitting alone at that restaurant for 2 hours while Logan and his idiot friends laughed about humiliating me. Nope. Not today, Satan. I quietly gathered up all the notes, for evidence, just in case, and went to make myself some coffee. Except, of course, my Keurig decided to die mid-brew. Because why wouldn't it? So there I was, standing in my kitchen at 8 a.m., sipping the world's saddest cup of emergency instant coffee, feeling like my life was held together by one fraying thread. While I was trying to choke down that sad excuse for caffeine, I checked my phone. 87 missed calls overnight. Texts from numbers I didn't recognize. 18 new voicemails. Logan had been busy. I was about to just delete them all when I spotted one voicemail from his mom. That made me pause. Curious, I played it. She didn't sound angry, just heartbroken. She thanked me for opening her eyes, said she had no idea what her son had really become, and apologized for raising someone who would treat a partner that way. Said she'd like to talk sometime if I was willing. I saved the voicemail but didn't call her back. Edit. For everyone asking, no, I haven't called his mom yet. I'm still sorting through my own mess and don't feel ready to dive into their family drama. Maybe someday. But not now. Later, I started getting ready to head over to Sophie's place. My apartment just felt way too empty and weird. Right as I was slipping my shoes on, the doorbell rang again. I checked the camera. It wasn't Logan this time. It was Tyler. Of course it was. I didn't answer. But Tyler, knowing I could probably hear him through the door, started talking anyway. He said Logan was a broken man and begged me to stop this revenge campaign because it had gone too far. Whatever, Tyler. But then he said something that made me freeze. He claimed he wasn't even at the restaurant that night. Said he had no idea what Logan had done until afterward. Excuse me? I saw him sitting there, laughing along, egging Logan on. Was he seriously trying to gaslight me too? Later, I checked the doorbell cam recording, and sure enough, Tyler was filming while he talked, probably hoping to catch me admitting something that could be used against me. Sneaky little snake. After Tyler finally slithered off, I grabbed my overnight bag and headed to Sophie's. Better to be safe than sorry. On the way there, I decided to check my bank account because, anxiety. And to my absolute delight, the car payment refund had already hit my account. Way faster than I expected. I did an awkward little happy dance right there on the sidewalk, probably looking like a complete lunatic to everyone passing by. Totally worth it. At Sophie's, we ordered takeout and sat down to map everything out. You know me, I'm a list maker through and through. Here's how the timeline looked. The Great Logan Takedown. Restaurant disaster, Thursday night. Discovered Logan's emails, Friday morning. Sent voice clips to his boss and parents, Friday afternoon. Dumped all his stuff, Sunday morning. Laying it all out like that made it feel so intentional. For a second, I wondered if maybe I had gone too far. Sophie must have caught the hesitation on my face because she immediately snatched my phone, pulled up the screenshots of Logan's emails, and made me reread them out loud. Nope. I didn't go too far. Not even close. Later that afternoon, my curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to see if my little Telegram stunt had stirred up any drama online. So, I made a brand new Instagram account, used a stock photo and a random name, don't worry, and looked up Logan's public profile. He always said he needed it public because he was building his personal brand. Barf. And oh man, you guys. His latest post? A long, rambling, self-pitying apology about how he had hurt people who didn't deserve it and made mistakes. Classic fake booking. No real apology. No specifics. Just fishing for sympathy. The comment section was a dumpster fire. Friends asking, what happened? Some girl, probably Kayla, dropping a sad face emoji and begging him to call her. His cousin writing, grandma's asking why you're ignoring her calls. While I was scrolling, okay fine, stalking, I got a text from Landon, one of Logan's old buddies. I was surprised, Landon was way closer to Logan than to me. The first text just said, can we talk? Not taking sides. Just confused. I ignored it. But then he sent another. Logan told everyone you hacked his accounts and stole from him. That doesn't sound like you. Hacked? Stole? Oh hell no. I called Landon immediately. He picked up on the first ring like he'd been waiting. And what he told me. Let's just say, my jaw hit the floor. Turns out, Logan had been spinning this big sob story, painting himself as the poor victim of a crazy ex-girlfriend. I took a long, deep breath and asked Landon one simple question. Do you want to know what really happened? When he said yes, I didn't hold back. I laid it all out. The 2-hour wait at the restaurant. The public humiliation in front of strangers. The emails I found where Logan and his buddies planned to embarrass me. The voice messages where he trashed his boss and mocked his parents. How I paid for his car while he laughed behind my back about it. I even played Landon one of the voice clips, the one where Logan proudly told his friends I was his personal ATM. There was a long stretch of dead silence on the line. Finally, Landon just said, holy shit. He's been lying to all of us. Apparently, Logan had spent months poisoning the well, telling all his friends I was clingy, financially controlling, emotionally unstable, the classic smear campaign. None of it was true. But they had believed him. Because, well, he was their friend. Landon apologized for not reaching out sooner. He asked if he could share the truth with the others. I told him he absolutely could, every word. The next morning, for the first time in a while, I actually felt ready to go back to my apartment. Sophie, being the amazing friend she is, insisted on coming with me, just in case Logan decided to pop up. We checked the whole way first, no Logan lurking around. But there were more notes shoved under my door. This time, the tone was a little different. They were angrier. Stuff like, you're ruining my life. You'll regret this. And my personal favorite. I know what you did with my stuff. Yeah, genius. I took it to the dump. Not exactly a secret, lol. I scooped up all the notes, because, again, evidence is your friend, and spent the rest of the day deep cleaning my apartment. I moved furniture around. Hung up some art prints I had kept hidden because Logan thought they were too girly. I even tossed out the old bed sheets and ordered new ones online. It's amazing how moving a couch to a different wall or buying some new sheets can make a place feel completely brand new. My apartment was finally becoming mine again. Then Wednesday morning rolled around and brought another surprise. I got an email from Logan's workplace. Not his boss this time, but HR. They said they were investigating a situation and asked if I'd be willing to share any information about Logan's behavior at work. I'm guessing his boss escalated things after putting Logan on probation. I replied back, kept it simple and professional, said I was willing to provide what I had. I clarified that I hadn't secretly recorded anything. These were voice messages Logan had sent me voluntarily. They were satisfied with that and asked me to forward any relevant files. I sent over 3 of the worst ones. The one where he called his boss incompetent. The one where he bragged about doing his boss's job for him. And the one where he admitted to sneaking out and taking extra long breaks without telling anyone. I never heard back after that. But later that night, Logan posted something cryptic on Instagram about the state of unemployment in America. Draw your own conclusions, LOL. Thursday is when things really got weird. I was at the grocery store, just trying to grab some coffee and cereal, when I literally ran into Logan's mom. Talk about awkward. I gave her a polite little smile and tried to move past, but she stopped me. To my complete shock, she wasn't angry at all. She thanked me, yes, thanked me for sending the voice clips. Apparently, she and Logan's dad had been financially supporting him for years, thinking they were helping. They had no idea he was mocking them behind their backs. And guess what? That Mustang I thought I was helping him pay off? Yeah, they had actually put the down payment on it. They had co-signed the loan. Logan was bleeding all of us dry. She apologized, said she was heartbroken that she'd raised someone who could treat people so cruelly. I didn't have the heart to tell her about the emails planning my public humiliation or about Kayla from work. Some things a parent just doesn't need to know. When I got home, there was a package sitting outside my door. No return address. No note. I was cautious, half expecting some crazy stunt from Logan. But inside, a Starbucks gift card and a handwritten note from my neighbor across the hall. It said, "Thanks for finally getting rid of that loud jerk. We owe you one." Apparently, Logan had been blasting music, stomping around, and being rude to other tenants when I wasn't home. Who knew? Last night, exactly 1 week after the restaurant disaster, I finally went nuclear. I changed all my social media to private. Blocked every new account Logan tried to make. He created 3 after I blocked the first one. And finally changed my phone number, something I'd been putting off because, let's be honest, it's a hassle. But the peace of mind? Worth it. And then this morning, drumroll, please. I got a letter from the car loan company. It confirmed that Logan's loan had been terminated and the car had officially been repossessed. They even included photos of the Mustang being towed away from Tyler's apartment, where Logan's been crashing. The letter said that based on the evidence I provided about fraud and manipulation, they wouldn't be pursuing me for any payments. The car? Logan's problem now. Not my circus. Not my monkeys. Sophie called to check on me, asked if I felt bad about any of it. I really thought about it. And you know what? I don't. Not even a little. For 3 years, Logan took everything he could from me, my money, my time, my self-respect. All I did was finally shine a light on who he really is, using his own words. No lies. No exaggerations. Just the truth. So, what's next for me? Well, I've started putting the money I used to spend on his car payment into a savings account for me this time. I'm even thinking about adopting a cat from the local shelter. Logan always claimed he was allergic. He wasn't. I found a bottle of antihistamines in his gym bag. He just didn't want the responsibility. As for Logan, last I heard from Landon. Still crashing on Tyler's couch. No job. No car. No friends left. All because he couldn't resist humiliating the one person who had stood by him through everything. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Edit. To answer a few common questions. No, I don't ever plan to talk to Logan again, not even for closure. Yes, I double-checked. Everything I did was completely legal. No, I didn't keep any of his stuff except important documents, which I plan to mail to his parents. Yes, I'm thinking about changing the locks again because honestly, I wouldn't put it past him to have made copies. I'll update if anything big happens, but hopefully, this chapter of my life is officially closed. Edit 2. For those asking how I sent the voice messages, it was super simple. I literally just forwarded the Telegram messages Logan had sent me directly to the people he trashed. No hacking. No funny business. Telegram really makes it ridiculously easy to forward messages or save them and send them in a new chat. No hacking skills needed. Just a few taps. Last update. Hey, Reddit fam. Wow, it's been forever since I last posted. Like 6 months. Crazy. And so many of you have DM'd asking how everything turned out after the whole Logan disaster. I figured it was time to finally post a real closure update. First things first, I moved. About a month after everything blew up, I was still feeling unsettled in my old apartment. My lease was ending anyway, so I found a smaller, but way cuter place across town. It's a little more expensive, sure. But honestly, worth every single penny for the peace of mind. Also, I got a cat. Her name is Miso, long story, LOL, and she's a tiny, sassy tortoiseshell who, for some hilarious reason, absolutely hates men. My brother came over once to help me assemble a bookshelf, and Miso hissed at him the entire time. Meanwhile, she literally curls up on my pillow every night, purring like a chainsaw. Soul sisters, clearly. I've also been saving all that car payment money, the money that used to bleed into Logan's Mustang nightmare. And guess what? It's already stacked up to over $2,750. Next month, I'm using some of it to take myself on a solo trip to Portland. It's gonna be my first ever solo vacation. I'm nervous, but mostly excited. Now for the Logan updates, because let's be honest, that's why most of you clicked LOL. About a month after my last post, Logan lost his job for good. Not strictly because of the voice messages I sent, though I'm sure those didn't help, but because he kept showing up late and apparently had some kind of meltdown during a team meeting. Shocker. I know all this because Logan's mom still checks in with me occasionally. It's this weird, not quite friendship, more like mutual respect. Anyway, after losing his job, Logan moved back in with his parents. It didn't last long. According to his mom, he was breaking their house rules, stumbling home drunk at 3 a.m., not helping out, mouthing off. You know, classic Logan behavior. They gave him an ultimatum. Get a job and contribute, or get out. He chose door number 2. Now, from what I've heard through the grapevine, he's been couch surfing, bouncing from one increasingly small friend group to another. His beloved Mustang? Sold at auction by the loan company. And chef's kiss, it sold for less than what was still owed. Which means he's stuck making payments on a car he doesn't even have anymore. Apparently, Logan even tried to blame me legally for that, but his own lawyer told him he didn't have a case. Turns out, when you have piles of evidence that you were manipulated into making payments labeled as gifts, there's not much the guy can do. Oh, and that girl from work, Kayla? Yeah, she and Logan are officially a thing now. But from what I've heard through mutual friends, their relationship is a full-blown train wreck. Logan's already been caught talking to other girls on Tinder. They've broken up and gotten back together like 4 times already. Honestly, I feel bad for her. She's stuck where I was 3 years ago. I hope she figures it out faster than I did. And now, the weirdest part of all. About 3 months ago, Logan's brother, a guy I'd only met twice, randomly slid into my Instagram DMs. At first, I thought he might be reaching out to apologize on Logan's behalf. Nope. He apologized for Logan's behavior and then asked me out. I was like, "Sir, read the room." I politely declined and blocked him too. Some people just have zero self-awareness. Oh, and because I'm a glutton for pain, I did a rough calculation of how much money I spent on Logan over the course of our 3-year relationship. Between the car payments, rent when he was between jobs, various unpaid loans, and all the little day-to-day things, it added up to over $34,500. That's a down payment on a house. That's a world tour. That's my entire student loan balance, gone. All spent on a guy who once looked me in the eyes and called me a pathetic puppy. Edit. I know some people are saying I went too far getting him fired, sending stuff to his parents. Here's the thing. I didn't get him fired. His own words, his own actions, did that. And if you still feel sorry for someone who planned a public humiliation against the person who supported him financially and emotionally for years, you might want to do some soul searching. Some of you have asked if I'd ever consider talking to Logan again for closure. Answer: absolutely not. I don't need to hear any more of his excuses. I don't need his version of the story. My closure came the moment I walked out of that restaurant 6 months ago. Everything that happened after? Just confirmation that I made the best decision of my life. So that's where everything stands now, Reddit. If you take anything away from my story, let it be this. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And if someone calls you a pathetic puppy, take their car, dump their crap at the landfill, and strut away without looking back. Just a joke. Mostly,